Welcome back to week 6 here as we're gonna... What is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, it's kind of low. What is wrong with you?
Dude,
I need to turn mine up.
My God.
Do you have super hearing?
Are you guys deaf?
You just have super hearing.
Jesus. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're at the end of Saturday here as we're going to be checking in with our final set. This is going to be AFK versus Denial. Now, this is pretty contentious here, so why don't you run us through what Denial needs to do to get to land?
So, Denial here, winning actually doesn't matter. I know it's kind of weird to say because right now, with Team Solo Mid's win, they're 2 games behind.
Okay. They
face each other in the final week, meaning you take a look here, right? If Denial wins both games, they'll be tied with Team Solo Mid next week.
Okay.
But they're going to win the tiebreaker because they had just 2-0'd them. Now, AFK Gaming is actually playing for 2 teams here because if AFK Gaming 2-0, they qualify for LAN, but they also qualify Cloud9 for LAN due to tiebreaks. It's a lot of numbers.
I didn't understand a single word you said.
Okay.
Except for... Nope, none of it. We're going to be checking in right. We're going to start pretty soon here. Now, the big thing for me, and this is the thing I'm most excited about, I'm a solo lane player. I love the solo lane. Cyclone's my favorite player to watch because he has reinvented the solo meta in a meta that dictates that you need to play hunters. He's like, I hate hunters. I'm not going to play it. I'm just going to beat you with Kuang, Bologna. Like,
and even Warrior, right? It was Warriors before, and he was playing assassins and mages, and
he's doing real well with it. With that, Baskin Robbins, a newcomer really to the SPL itself, has been insanely strong in the solo lane, much better than anyone gave him credit for when he came into. So I'm hoping that Baskin can get out of his comfort zone today and really do his best to shut down Cyclone Spin. Now, can he do it? I mean, no one's been able to do it, so it's hard to say. And
it's hard because really AFK's strategy is, I don't want to say get Cyclone ahead, but we can put a lot of pressure on the lane, and it's really going to be how does Baskin respond to that? Because Xing's kind of the same way. Xing has been putting a lot of pressure onto Baskin's solo lane. So I think we're going to see a lot of 2v2 fights in that solo lane when we typically don't.
To me, I think Xing's going to stay in mid. He likes mace. He likes killing people in mid. Mages are so much squishier and so much more unsafe than anything you'll find in the solo lane. Except for, like, I don't know, Neith.
Yeah, but Neith is just...
But she's in the mid lane, too.
She's everywhere. I want to see a Neith jungle. It's going to happen.
I'll do it.
I want to see a
good Neith. No,
I mean, I wasn't gonna.
That's not me. That's not me. Picks and bans, P's and B's.
Good player at all. I was gonna say good.
P's and B's.
Is that no? It's picks and bans.
No, P's and B's. AFK on the bottom side here. Denial taking the top side.
And the best ban we've seen all day.
For real.
Just straight up the best ban we've seen all day. We saw the strategy that Denial implemented in the last week. They love Giannis.
If this isn't a Geb ban, it's going to be, I think, Geb first pick.
Okay. Isis is also on the... Okay, yep.
Wow.
Immediately take Geb away. That's their combo.
This was it. This is what they maybe showed their hand a little bit too soon last week against Enemy. Right? Denial used that combo to amazing efficiency. Now we're looking at Denial to see if they have other tricks up their sleeves. First pick to AFK.
Isis, there's nothing that's going to happen there because Denial runs the same god in mid lane. They love the Isis. And with
why wasn't
teams
this
prioritize
banned?
It, because you look at it, they had to ban away Sylvanas, they had to ban away Weekends Bologna. There's a lot that Denial has to take out that are just top tier bans that they can't really focus pick.
And with that, AFK not only takes away Mace's best god here aside from Janus, but gains Kiki's best god in a huge swing. Now, Xbalanque and Thor are going to be picked up here. Now, this is Bronx today?
Yes.
This is Bronx's week to show up. Right? Up until this point, it's 100% been the discussion of Madman Mark just performed better.
He actually has the highest KDA in the league right now. With
slightly above Kabam.
One set played against Enemy. And actually, Kabam is second with one set played.
1 point less.
Against Enemy.
Yep. So Denial here, one more pick in the final phase as Athena Medusa gets locked in, and it's going to be Agni.
Yeah, Athena Medusa it's the not made you look, it's the where you look in lane, right? Athena taunts, makes you look towards her, and Medusa is going to stun you out for anyone who's looking at her. So it's a big team fight combination coming out from AFK, and that's what we typically see. We're likely to see Weekend, though, go an early game god as well to have cohesion in this lineup.
I'm expecting Weekend to really show up this game. He has been in a lot of my games lately, and his play has been incredible. His jukes are better. His control has been better. I'm very excited to see what they're going to do because, again, this is an important... Maybe not for Denial. Denial doesn't 100% need to win this to qualify.
It puts a lot of pressure on them if they can't win a game because TSM is 2 up on them. They need to win games here, so it's easier going into that matchup next week.
Right. Odin. Wow, okay, Odin going to be locked in
I like
here.
this because I really think Weekend would have picked that if they left it open.
To the same point, though, there's not a lot of healing on the enemy team. Usually this is something they love against Sylvanas, to put a lot of pressure on the healing aspect, using the cage to reduce it, or heavily favored attack speed gods. Serqet somehow making it all the way through the picks and bans phase to the point where she's picked up, what is this, 8th?
It was 8th, and then 5th is going to be Fenrir, or 9th is going to be Fenrir. That could be a mid lane Fenrir, too. Actually,
no, it's Kiki.
It's Cyclo Spin.
It's solo. Chill. Final pick here for Denial. Likely looking for their solo lane here. There's a lot open. Mainly, Sobek's very safe. Has great control and functions with Odin very well.
I think...
But they need damage.
Loki could be a possibility here. He loves the god. Oh, it's banned. I didn't even notice they had banned it. AFK honestly had perfect bans in this set. AFK banned perfectly because Loki would have been a perfect pick here. There's not a lot of peel for Loki, and they can't do it, but Basket's, I think, going to be playing Cyclone's own god against him.
Yeah, I think this is the Cyclone god. Actually, we've seen a lot of Kuang being played lately.
Yes.
Bought one this morning. It was very good. Everyone's getting very good with this god very quickly, and Cyclone's the one who brought this to the table, though.
Mm-hmm.
He knows how to function against it, but this is a great pick against Fenrir because he has better poke, doesn't have to commit 100% to fights because he can back off and throw dragons. Plus, the water clone will actually stop Brutalize dead in his tracks.
You're going to blink forward. You're going to immune it out. So it's unlikely we'll see Cyclone Spin use that Brutalize on Kuang unless that water clone is down. Cyclone Spin's going to know this matchup in and out. I expect it to be pretty safe for both players here.
I like it as well because he's also a very safe character. The water clone plus movement and stealth is going to make it very hard for Weekend to do his normal strategy of camp that lane and get Cyclone to the point where he's unbeatable. When it comes down to is in the end game, both teams need to rely heavily on builds, most notably the Fenrir. I'm very interested to see which of the major 3 Fenrir builds he's going to go into. Now there's the auto attack build with things like Executioner and Frostbound Hammer. You have the full tank build, which allows him to be another frontliner, utilizing stuns, more famous from Divios and Aurora. And then, of course, your normal assassin play. Things like Jotun's Wrath and Shifter Shield for burst damage and CDR.
I think we're going to see a combination. Likely Cyclone's going to be doing that ability jungler early, pick up the Jotuns, pick up the Shifter Shield, and then transfer into a tanking role. I mean, you look at the lineup, it's very squishy to begin with, and something I do want to note here is the Transcendence 2 start, and this, with the changes to Bluestone and the change to this item, has been more common. You're able to get the tier 2 of it and pick up some potions.
And it's 20 damage out of the gate, and the MP5 is a very big deal, but remember, there is no health sustain, so they invest a lot of money into potions, although it is a little bit curious to me to see both players go into 3 mana potions with the sustain that they're going to be getting, so their mana potions might offset the fact that they only have 750 extra effective health on top.
Standard starts coming out here so far, and
3 camps.
Actually see a 3 camp.
3 out of 4
coming out from AFK on the left side.
We have on the top side.
It was top as well.
Yeah, top side completely done 3 camp. Weekend going to get to lane a little bit sooner. But they're quick on the draw here. They haven't lost any creeps. Weekend pushing this lane actually forced them to not lose anything. They might have lost 1, but that's a pretty big win.
Weekend's going to rotate out of here, but he doesn't have any back camps to seal. I'm sure he recognizes this as the fact that Denial was so late to lane. They've played against this before. They know that those back harpies are down, and actually Weekend's going to stay. He's going to look to gank Xing in the jungle.
Yeah, he's trying to catch him on the way out here, but he's going to be spotted and forced back around. Kiki might have a strange rotation chance here. It seems to me that he's going to be aiming towards the back camps, but it doesn't look like Weekend is committing to that as he is still in the right lane. They have a pseudo-duo going on over there. Not to be confused with Pseudo-Widow.
This is not Pokemon.
No, that's what I'm saying. Don't confuse it.
Okay.
It's very important that you don't.
Kiki gonna solo the back camps, and Weekend really wants to pick off Xing here. This matchup is actually in Serqet's favor early on, most notably because she can cancel out Berserker's Barrage if she hits the taunt, and you can see Weekend trying to be aggressive there, hitting the double madness. That is the mark of a good Serqet.
It is the funniest thing in the game to watch 2 people walk at each other and just start hitting them. It's actually hilarious to watch.
It really doesn't even do that much damage,
it doesn't,
but it's just...
Have you ever seen a max rank Cobra's Kiss Kali?
No.
because it's base damage. She doesn't do any more damage for having more power herself. It's all based on the Cobra's Kiss damage. So Kali has the fastest attack chain.
Okay.
So she just swings into people. Oh, a lot of damage coming through. Baskin might be in some trouble. No, Water Clone's still up. And you'll notice he's blowing up the Water Clones as soon as he gets out to blow that damage up. He knows he doesn't need to stay in stealth.
Kiki just stole Mace's back camps by himself because both junglers are being kept in solo lane. Basically, Weekend is keeping Xing in solo lane.
Look at this.
Kiki
Again.
has the strength early.
Xing in some trouble here. Not stunned out. Teleport, going to be good. Weekend taking some damage here. Both junglers getting pretty low. Baskin moving forward in a strange route here. Can Xing find it? No.
They definitely wanted to fight that there, but Baskin just missing that wild storm, lightning storm.
What is this 2-1-2 meta that we were playing right now?
It's something Weekend is forcing onto Xing.
I love it.
Weekend is not letting Xing come to the jungle, and it's interesting because they didn't 3 camp, meaning Xing's going to hit 5 before him.
So what's going to happen with the right camps? It looks like Weekend's trying to make the rotations. Xing is actually stuck under tower.
Yep.
Incon here, he's going to be about 1 second off perfect timing here. No, he was exactly on time. Shadow Q was about a second and a half away. Weekend's going to get right camps, and already the first real victory is going to go to Denial. Dude, they're down almost 1,000 gold.
That's just efficient farming, it seems, and every lane is about a level ahead from the rotations and the lane control they've had.
It's been great, too. I mean, AFK has really controlled things. They've been pushing Duo into the tower. You can actually see Bronx Bombers with a very small disadvantage here, but it's 180 gold.
It's against a Medusa. You would expect him to get out-pushed. The only thing is that the Odin was pushed to tower as well.
That's true.
Ally doing a great job of controlling the Odin push that we normally see in lane, and he's garnered that 200 gold lead. That's going to be a wave earlier Transcendence.
That's exactly right. It's a 1,400 gold finish, which means you're looking for a 2,900 gold net worth without backs. Allied on the next wave is guaranteed that money.
Something interesting here, though, if Bronx falls, Weekend really wants this gank because if he gets it, Bronx won't be able to back and finish that Transcendence, and Allied's baiting it very well right now. Bronx has no idea.
He's overcommitted. Here comes Athena as well. He's going to be pushed back. Slowed, and first blood will go to Allied. Now let's take a look back at the gold again because this is very important. He has just enough gold to where he has to walk back to lane, do one wave, and then he can finish it. That is probably the most painful position to be in as a hunter.
Great job by Xing, though, recognizing that Weekend and Athena full committed onto that duo lane, stealing away Weekend's speed camp. They're not able to get blue. He doesn't want to contest Cyclone as well, but taking advantage of where he can.
Well, AFK also recognizes the fact that Xing was going for the speed buff, and now on the top side is going for double buff. They not only get the red, but they're looking for it, and it looks like Shadow Q's letting it go.
Yeah, Shadow Q wanted to fight, but Xing not in position, and really it came down to Mace had backed. If Mace was there and was able to rotate, it would have been a different story, but because it would have been a 2v3, they can't risk taking that fight.
For me, it seems like Denial came in with a very specific strategy, and it almost looks like AFK understood what they were going to do before they're doing it. And AFK has done such a great job of setting the pace and forcing Denial to play their game, forcing the awkward back from Bronx, making sure Xing stays in lane and doesn't get the rotations that Xing is known for, and abusing the left side jungle to keep Shadow Q's Odin locked down, because if there's any support in the game that you can't have under leveled, it's Nasha. But after that, it's Odin.
It's definitely Odin. He's going to fall very easily. I'd say Ares is up there too. When Ares gets behind, it is
But I mean, at least he's got shades, right? Odin's
got
like,
shades.
I guess I'll cage and jump away. Good luck, everybody.
He can still blink in cage and then jump away. And he did actually go blink on his back and Cyclone spin, controlling this lane so far, but Mace picks up an early blink as well. Okay. He loves this blink, and he's going to be using it aggressively unless he's forced to go combat blink early.
Well, for me, I don't understand how he's going to use it aggressively. So far, the entire pace of this game has been set by AFK in spades. With that, Cyclone Spin going to get his blue buff. Mid-camp's coming up left side. This is strange. Why is the left... It's a 3-minute respawn timer. It should have been up by now.
They were taken a little bit later.
No.
Just barely.
Incon dropped the shield wall and handed those things at 3:02.
I'm sure the timer's fine. DM.
I don't know, man.
Sure, the timer's fine, but Shadow Q jumping in. Circle protection is going to be popped in response, and Shadow Q getting very low. The rest of Denial isn't there.
He jumps down.
There's a shield, though. He's going to be fine, but Weekend's going to jump in as well.
Lots of healing reduction going around. Weekend actually going to get picked off there, 1 for 1. Incon getting very low. Allied getting picked off as well. It's up to Kiki to find the kill. Xing, though, going to be able to get out. Bronx guaranteed to go down here unless stunned, and Xing was not ready to save his teammate.
Cyclone Spin going to go into that ult to avoid the CC immunity. And Baskin, he's going to get silenced out, but just barely gets the water clone off. Xing trying to take right camps, but Cyclone Spin might find him if he's not careful.
Ooh,
he knows he's there. He saw the Harpy die, but he's not going to chase it. And Xing,
I think Xing has a speed buff for about 15 more seconds or so.
The one he stole away.
Well, no, actually the one that he got on the top side, which has given him enough movement to get out. So Denial getting really important kills there, tying it up 3-3. Now they're still down about 1,500 gold because of the lost jungle camps and the control. But, I mean, it's not too bad. The only thing that could have went better for them there is the fact that Xbalanque didn't get the kills.
That's very important.
Allied remains with a 600 gold advantage and no stacks of passive on Xbalanque at all.
And that's where a lot of this lead is coming from. Now twice, Bronx, you talked about it, Bronx needs to show up this game, and he's already taken 2 spills on Xbalanque, who's really going to start peaking in this mid to late game. Yeah. And Allied has just been controlling him, already 2 levels ahead. He has 23 stacks, and Bronx is sitting at 15.
That's, I mean, this is the one item that stacks, though, that the stacks aren't super necessary.
If you die, you'll still be able to retain them.
Well, that and while the stacks are important, they give the lowest amount of overall damage compared to Dev's Gloves or Heartseeker. So it's not a big deal to get it stacked up. The major burst is from actually finishing the item and being higher leveled. One of the reasons that you don't see Transcendence normally started as a first item is because while it does give you a fair amount, your mana pool isn't big enough to really warrant the percentage yet. So it was kind of off the mark, but people are trying to use it now as a replacement to Bluestone and a replacement to Heartseeker, which is becoming increasingly unsafe as junglers are becoming more aggressive in the duo lane on the early stages.
We already saw that with Weekend ganking at a very unlikely time, taking out Bronx and making him have an awkward start to being able to delay that Transcendence.
There's no way to predict that at 4 minutes the jungler is going to gank duo. They should be getting ready for speed. That's the way Smite is played. Weekend taking that chance to go to pressure him, you can't fault Bronx for that.
Yeah, and we did see his speed stolen away in response, but they got the kill and they shut Bronx down, more importantly. This time, though, Weekend's not giving up his speed. He's going to make sure to secure it.
Camps are going to be coming up here on the left side in just a little bit. We do have some control over on the left for Red as they move down the lane here against Allied. It is a 3v1 that's brewing if they would choose to go in. Weekend choosing to stick around near Baskin. Now, with the left camp starting to respawn, this one should really belong to Denial. They have a great line to it right now. Incon and Allied aren't setting up as well as they should be, but they still have a little bit of time to get there. You can see the camp has just started blinking.
We haven't seen Xing ult offensively yet. And with the 4-man group up by Denial, they're looking to fight. They see Incon there, but Incon smartly recognizing that Denial's in position to fight, and Xing just teleported into a max range Spirit Ball.
That was not on purpose.
That's just unfortunate.
Yeah, that was... Kiki was looking to clear the archers. Oh, going real deep here. Xing only going to take 1 hit of the shield ball. Very strange to see them commit to this. Cyclone Spin will take some damage, but strangely not a lot as nothing seems to be sent his way.
Yeah, he's also gone that defensive build. He went boots, but he's already going into Silver Talisman. Blinking by Shadow Q. They're going to try and lock Kiki in place.
All right, they'll get some damage off here, but mainly just stuns. Kiki has done an amazing job of avoiding damage. He heals himself a lot and actually stays alive, but he's going to fall there. But so far, a 2-for-1 in favor of AFK. Baskin getting very low as well. Cyclone needs the Brutalize. Does he have it? No, he won't even need it, though.
Water Clone just barely came off cooldown, but triple kill coming out from Cyclone, cleans up all the kills, and really it came down to Kiki staying alive long enough to charge up that circle of protection. He popped it at max.
For me, why was Mace so aggressive there? He could have done the same damage from the backline. He didn't need to blink, but he does. He does so unsafely. He puts himself in an awkward position.
Cyclone Spin.
That's a Quadra.
Yeah, Cyclone Spin's going to chase him down. Not going to be able to get Mace. His jumps on off cooldown, but he's not going to commit to tower. He needs to safely secure this Gold Fury before Odin comes in. The Gold Fury's low, and AFK is going to take the first one. 7-5 in kills at about a 2,000, no, 4,000 gold lead. They had that is a 3,000 raw gold lead.
And again, Bronx falling, going to put him in a position where he's not gaining the same amount of farm, considering Allied now has a 2-level advantage. And again, Xbalanque not finding a kill, which means no passive utilization. Allied's in a great spot. Now, we do see the Aussie coming out, but Allied has boots 2 over him, which means 12% movement speed, which means his backpedaling is going to be as fast as Xbalanque moving forward.
I do want to steer away from that and talk more about Cyclone Spin there. Something we saw was that his Brutalize, while it can't chase Kuang through stealth, it can chase down Xbalanque, and you're likely to see AFK Cyclone Spin to keep sticking on Bronx every fight, especially now that he has a 4-level lead. There's nothing that's going to be able to stop him. Shadow Q can't interrupt that at all. It's going to come down to Xing and Mace to the face to protect Bronx.
Now, it's a couple on that. Remember, guys, the Allied players, not Allied himself, but the Allied players, your teammates, can walk through the Odin cage. It's considered that Brutalize is repeated jumps, meaning he can actually get out of the cage if you drag him. There's literally no way for Odin to stop that aside from landing a bird bomb when he's 10% health.
Taking a look, they're just going to siege this tower out. Xing's actually in the air, but it's going to be a question of whether he wants to fight this or not. He's going to land down, stun 2. Weaken low. Weaken's going to get executed, but now Xing's in a lot of trouble.
Incon's here. Xing with a great dodge there, and yes, he will escape for long enough. Cyclone getting very low. Beautiful triples coming out on the pole. Here comes the circle of protection. Baskin, one hit. Wing Gust trying to chase down, but they're going to choose Xing instead. They don't see him inside the stealth. He's going to come out there, misses the slow, and the cage will be good, but not good enough. Baskin will fall.
Yep, Incon locked in the cage too. Bird Bomb's gonna miss. Incon is juking the double tap too, but he falls to Mace to the face. That's gonna be a 2-for-2 overall, but Allied gonna be securing mid camps, a slight win. Tower also, they also took the right lane tower.
Yeah, that's a win for AFK once again. If anything, though, they did find an important kill with Weaken, but he was only 1-1 at that point. They didn't get the big name, right? And that was Cyclone. 5-0 would have made him a huge bounty, but they don't get it. With Allied getting the left camps and with them getting the tower, AFK undoubtedly takes that fight.
They've extended their gold lead to about 5,000, and they continue to put the pressure on Denial. When you have Thor on your team, you want to be aggressive. He's so strong early, but it doesn't matter. AFK Gaming is putting on the pressure right now.
4 weeks ago, we were talking to AFK about their weaknesses, and they said mid camps.
And then they took
200%.
Who was that against too? Was it against enemy?
That was COG.
Oh, it was against
COG.
That's surprising there. Weaken, gonna be aggressive, gonna steal away Xing's speed. Steal mine, I'll steal yours back.
Yeah, right. Plus he got the one before, so I mean it's looking pretty good for AFK right now with this lead. It's up to how they're going to use it. Now,
Cyclone Spin is actually jumping in on Xing. He's going to teleport out, but look at this. Denial can't even walk into their own jungle, and it's 2v3.
16. He's getting very close to getting the Jotun's finish. Afterwards, I'm assured we're going to see some defense. I'm expecting mid-Guardian Mail, but it could be Witchblade or Frostbound Hammer as well. They want to try to stack as much attack speed slows as possible to make sure they're shutting down Kuang if he rushes in, and they want to shut down Xbalanque as much as possible. You look at Xbalanque, and that's not the most damaging build we've ever seen.
And he's fallen so far behind Allied right now. Allied not only pressuring him out in lane, but getting kills in team fights, and then solo securing these mid camps. He's actually gained about a 1,500 gold lead on his counterpart at 14 minutes.
Not to mention the 2-level lead and the control that's allowed him to allow Incon to rotate as efficiently, whereas Odin has to stick around and help him. Odin has to be leeching experience from other people because he has no other choice. And when he starts rotating back, Allied's in a position to where he can fight both of them pretty easily.
3-man group up on the left lane, though.
Looking for the tower. They're going to force a fight.
Yeah, they want to fight. They want to catch out this rotation. Denial. Well, they're roaming as a team now. They recognize they can't keep getting picked out. And you see them winning these fights and trading out. I mean, they're not really behind in kills. It's only 8-7, but it's just a gold lead that AFK had gained early on by finding the picks they needed and by slowly pushing up the lanes.
And you know what's crazy is we haven't really talked much about Kiki's Isis. Normally, like the star of the show. He's 0-1 right now, but the big story is that he has 5 assists. And the last team fight we saw him in was the team fight where he baited himself in the cage forever, forcing Mace to waste everything on him. And they didn't get him until the very end, forcing out a huge win for AFK. And, you know, that's what Kiki does. And this is why the god is so great for him. She's movement-centric, right? She's great at utility, and that's what Kiki's always done. He doesn't like to play these high-damaging mages. That's why he has Cyclone and Weaken and Allied to deal as much damage as possible.
Group up here by AFK though. They're gonna looks like they're gonna secure mid camps.
More
Denial
mid-camps.
just they don't have the timers on them. More importantly, that's gonna be a 2-man taunt. Kiki's gonna stun out Xing, but no follow-up.
Now, if they engage now, it'll be a win for them. They can't let this footsie game go on for too long because their mana is starting to drain. Although not a lot, it can definitely hurt them in the long run if the siege continues.
Look at Cyclone Spin looping around the side. They don't have a ward there. AFK has a sentry ward. They have no vision. They recognize Cyclone is not anywhere to be seen though, and they know he's lurking.
He not only has ability to go in for the gank and the counter initiate, but has a perfect line to the mid camps. Another set in which AFK takes both. Now, have they lost any mid camps yet?
I haven't been keeping track, but it's unlikely. Shadow Q gonna immune out most of Weekend's damage with that Raven shield, but Incon coming in, gonna hit the taunt. Xing forced to beads.
Shadow Q's taking a lot of damage here, and on a rather non-tanky support, only with the steel mail right now, he can't put himself in a position where he can tank for as long as possible, like someone like Gab or Sylvanas. Trouble here, picks him up right out of the Raven shield, already gonna be on cooldown. Ally sending a lot of damage in, and he will be picked off by Cyclone.
Cyclone stuck in the cage, but Xing's gonna find Allied in the back with the Berserker's Barrage. AFK controlling this fight, however. Execute coming through, but it's only gonna knock up. Mace to the face, trying to dash out. Right now it's been a 1-for-1, but Cyclone's gonna jump in. He's gonna find Baskin to the face, and then AFK Weekend is gonna be trying to take out Bronx. Bronx gonna battle him out, though.
I love the way that Weekend avoided the kill and jumped into Bronx in the back, absolutely recognizing the fact that he was going to be able to get the kill. He trusted in his teammates' ability to do it. Cyclone finds the kill again. Weekend very low, but a double stun coming out and a huge win. Weekend will definitely fall here, but they get the Gold Fury. They only drop 2 for 4, and Cyclone's going to finish up the kill for the Deicide here. Oh my God.
Shadow Q spawned, but he's not going to be able to get there anytime soon, and AFK going to take the Deicide and the Gold Fury and attack speed 2 while they're at it.
That was a brilliant fight from Weekend, front to back.
He's 7 levels ahead.
Look at this.
He could fight this.
He's like, I made a mistake. I don't really care. I'll jump away. I probably can't take this.
Right now, Cyclone Spin is level 20, 18 minutes in, and it's been a pretty competitive match when you look at the kills, but he's sitting at 9, 0, and 3. He's been a part of every fight as a solo laner outside of 1 kill, which was the gank in left lane.
I get a lot of flack as a caster for saying that Cyclone's my favorite player to watch. When you guys can show me another player in the pro league hitting level 20 at 18 minutes as Fenrir in the solo lane against Kuang, I'm with you.
Can we take a look at experience per minute real quick? I do want to see really
I'm with you.
How big of a lead he has.
Nonsense.
What? That's almost a 200 XP per minute advantage over his mid laner, who's also he's still gonna.
Excuse me. I would also like to point out the fact that Weekend was in his lane for the first 7 or 8 waves, which means he shared experience.
Level 5.
He's actually hit level 20 slower than he normally would have.
It's absurd.
It's not. He is a savant. And it's incredible as a caster who is such a fan of this game to watch someone be so skilled. Hey, they're going to get mid camps.
They're going to get mid camps, but they want to fight. There's a Blinken. Cage coming out soon. Silence not in time. Xing's in the air, but Kiki taking a lot of damage.
Oh, whoa. Xing doesn't initiate at all. In fact, he lands on the backside with Baskin. They don't send out any damage.
I like this. Last time that happened, they stacked up the circle protection and lost the team fight from it. This time, Denial smartly chooses not to engage, but Xing just barely avoiding it.
He's in a lot of trouble now. His beads are already used. Ragnarok can come out here, and no, they're going to leave it to Allied. He does find it from max range in the jungle. We can take some damage here. Last breath already has been used. Cyclone trying to find a way in, but the sight of the Raven shield will do enough to deter.
And Denial has just been trying to escape AFK this entire team fight. And now AFK grouped up once again for a tower. Shadow Q, no ults available. How can they even fight this? Cyclone Spin just going to jump in the back line.
Look at this. Goes right in. Ragnarok saved the whole time. They pick off Bronx. Xbalanque is already gone. And a big kill onto Kuang. Now with the cage on cooldown, there's really nothing Odin has to offer here. It's all up to Mace, who is choosing the base.
Pick after pick, and now Denial going to give up. Ooh, Shadow Q just barely jumped out of there. And a Phoenix down, and Gold Fury's only been taken twice, and no Fire Giant. AFK Gaming is just controlling the pace of the game.
Now, Denial had some pretty good showings this season.
Great showings.
They played down a little bit to the teams below them, but they had some really good showings against the top tier teams. And this, this is kind of what people expected going into Season 2, where Denial was getting stronger, but they can't control AFK.
Two-man ring coming out. Shadow Q caught alone. Can Mace find any kills in the back line? Doesn't matter. Circle protection going to keep Allied alive. Shadow Q trying to find a kill, but I think he's going to get killed in response. Xing falls first.
And Allied's going to find himself another kill off the two really big picks there. Really the only way to stop it. There's no hand 3 on Baskin. They're going to turn to the Fire Giant for free. With Mace not having enough damage at this stage, you could pretty much guarantee that this Fire Giant's going down with little or no contest.
Yeah, no one's in position. They know what's happening. They're going to give it up here. And now, can we take a look at Golden Hand as this Fire Giant falls? Everyone's hitting with at least 1,500.
Allied has a Deathbringer.
He's going to finish off Rage for... Oh, no. He's going on something else.
That's a Light Blade. So that's...
Executioner
that's
first.
1550 spent. He'll get a Short Blade as well. And instead of getting the Short Blade into the Short Sword, or the Hidden Dagger into the Short Sword, he actually opts to finish Sprint, wants to hit that gas pedal. It's definitely the right call.
Yeah, especially when you can't finish that crit item, there's no reason to try and get level 2. Quick pause coming out from AFK as they're going to regroup, figure out what's going to happen, and get back into the game. But right now... they're controlling the game so well. They're controlling the pace. They want Denial to initiate into them. They want it to happen.
Denial wants to initiate, and they have been. And every single time they've been losing stuff for it.
Yeah,
Odin cages and beads and jumps.
I mean, we saw it. Xing, he ulted into the air, and then they just dropped circle protection. They recognize they can't go in.
So what are they going to do?
They're going to have to be playing as 5. It seems that when they're fighting,
Circle's too strong.
Shadow Q they need it. That's the thing. They need to bait Circle out without baiting out too many of their own ults. They need to use either Xing's ult or Shadow Q's ult to bait it out.
If we take the one time that Kiki died, right, the one real death that he had, it was because they used everything inside the Odin ult.
And then Cyclone got a triple.
Right. So, like, if they do this strategy of only using a little bit and Kiki uses Circle of Protection, AFK is still so far ahead at this point that I don't think it would matter. For me, I think the Odin pick has put them in a position with their early loss to where they cannot win a team fight without AFK just straight up making mistakes.
I have to agree. I think it's come to that lead.
Look at this.
And
Look at this
Cyclone
guy.
Spin, yeah. I mean, AFK is going to take their lead and trying to expand it.
What are you doing?
Likely going to be forced, and there's the hammer throw too. Weekend going to chase it down though. And
he got him.
Xing could fall before he gets his ult off. Allied going to take him out.
That was a lot of damage.
I think that was a crit or two.
So he finds the Cobra's Kiss, right? Gets a little bit of damage off. When he chases and lands with the ambush, which hits, by the way, he immediately goes in to the last breath for CC immunity and control on the Xing. Xing goes up into the air, but he takes the 20% health auto attack, and Allied's just like, thanks. Thank you.
Group up by AFK. And Cyclone Spin, he's never really with the team. He's always off to the side, trying to find these picks, trying to find these players in the back line.
Shadow Q's jump is down, and we have the poison darts on cooldown as well. That's a free Phoenix. They have no way to control it. Without Xing's stun, Mace cannot control enough space. Yeah, he'll find Allied for some damage, but it doesn't even matter.
He's going to lifesteal back up, and that's 2 bombs down. And Cyclone Spin going to jump in 1v4 as AFK groups up and heads to the right Phoenix. The last one still standing. Xing's up in the air. They're looking to fight. They want a hard engage. Xing's
where did he go?
Down, but instantly taunted out by Incon. Shadow Q finds the ring on 2, but not enough damage.
There was the mistake, right? Weekend jumping into the Phoenix was the mistake. But Circle of Protection, again, showing how powerful it is in Season 2, brings Weekend back up to about 75% health as the third Phoenix continues to just hemorrhage its HP. Incon stuck in a bad spot here, and he will be taken out.
Yeah, Execute's going to be used while Cyclone Spin finds Xing, and it's just pick after pick coming up from AFK.
I don't see them holding it.
Phoenix is down. Titans at 50%. It's going to be hard. No bombs available. What are they going to do? And it's going to be nothing, and AFK are going to win.
That, to me, was AFK setting the pace the entire time. It starts with Weekend, controlling Xing, keeping him locked into the tier 1 the entire early game until the mid-camp spawn, and he gets him for free.
I think what's most important there is that AFK did something unpredictable to Denial. There was 2 things, right? They were both Weekend. First was the instance you said,
locking them in.
And then he ganks dual lane.
At 4 minutes.
Like, who goes to dual lane at 4 minutes?
It's actually the cardinal sin of all jungle, is you must be at your jungle in 4 minutes or you will lose it. But let's actually take a look at the first blood here. We'll show you exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, Weekend was just sitting in the corner, and then he comes through, and they time it with Encon's ult as well. I mean, there's nothing Bronx can do. You're not going to have a ward there. It's so oddly timed, and like you saying, it's the Cardinal Sin. Why is he here? Bronx like, what?
Guys, hello?
Hello?
Can at least take their jungle. And Xing did.
Yes.
Xing got the speed, but he couldn't get the blue because no one else was there to help him. He used the Hand of the Gods, knew he couldn't contest Cyclone. And I know we're going to go into the jungle camp, and then after that we have player of the game, and that's usually decided by production, but I'm going to assume that before we even get there, it's going to be Cyclone with his bajillion kills. No? All right, well, let's look at jungle camps. We'll get there.
Why would he be player of the game? I didn't notice him do anything special there. Taking a look, AFK 62%, mid camps 16 out of 24. So Denial got a couple.
Oh, okay.
It just there was just fights that happened, and I think they just happened to die in the engagements.
Yeah,
most of the time.
Perhaps. But the big things here, and that's 2 Gold Furies out of 2 and 1 out of 1 Fire Giants, of course, go to AFK for their big win.
And with how really one-sided, I wouldn't say one-sided, it was pretty competitive, but at the end, it was very one-sided. I'm surprised there was only 2 Gold Furies taken. Normally, we're seeing a lot of fights around that objective.
Well, AFK chose a different strategy. They weren't baiting fights in the normal places. They were going into their jungle, forcing them into tier 2s. It was wonderful.
I think AFK Gaming won this in the picks and bans. I think they had the 3 best bans they could have. And Denial, and then the best first pick.
Maybe not even the 3 best bans, although I do like the Loki. It was ban, pick. And right there for me, AFK won. They took Mace's best god and gave it Kiki's best god while banning away their actual strategy of the whole,
blink in with Geb.
The blink in with Geb on top of the Janus ult. I mean, that stuff, AFK looks like they did their homework a lot more than Denial did.
And then they, like we said, they really confused them moving forward.
But,
now, is it Cyclone Spin?
Yeah, production wanted us to guess whether it was Kiki or Ionic is the player of the game of AFK versus Denial.
I think it's Reels. It's Real. Is it Reels?
No, we were wrong. It's Cyclone Spin.
I really thought it was Marcus.
Somehow, 9-0-10, we saw a triple kill that game. Look at him. Oh, God. I actually feel tense watching him stand outside that ring, knowing what's going to happen.
Everything he did was just perfect, too. And really, they got a lot of kills also off his jump stuns, and we saw him hit multiple targets every time. That last fight, we saw him jump on 2.
It was always right after Kiki landed the spear ball or right before. It was always a combo. AFK was playing the most like a team we have ever seen them play this game.
And Denial, they controlled Denial, and Denial is not a weak team. Denial, before today, was tied for 3rd place with Team Solo Mid, and they made them look like they just came out of Challengers.
And a lot of people have been giving Weekend flack. I mean, Weekend has been, called out on Reddit and on Twitter as the weakest member of his team.
The Weekend.
I was actually going to call him weakest all day today. It was going to be great, right? But Weekend set the pace for the first 8 minutes of that game to the point where Kiki got ahead, Cyclone became untouchable, and it got AFK to the point where Allied was like 3 levels ahead. And once the Hunter difference starts to happen in this meta, it's very hard to come back from it.